I see a lot of people talking about Raylo, that abbreviation. I like it better the other way around. Kaye. Yippee-ki-yay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Mike Norton from BattlePug.com.
All right, welcome back, Mike.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
We have the continuation of the scene that we started yesterday where Kylo's walking around saying, "What happened?" in the Rebel Resistance base. This is minute 142. It starts with Kylo Ren. He's quietly watching Rey and the dice disappear. And it ends with Leia sitting down about to have a heart-to-heart talk with Rey. So I think she's about to fire Rey. It seems like that kind of a thing. She was like, look, I know you've tried your best. Thanks for the rescue thing. But I think overall we're going to go a different direction with this resistance thing.
It's just not working out.
Yeah.
Performance review.
Yeah. I think there's some people, if we have a Jedi in the gang, some people will think we're doing one thing and we're really going a different way. So you're free to continue your own path here, but can you just drop us off at Yavin?
We'll give you good references. We'll give you some. We'll give you your severance portions.
Wait a minute.
Gives them all the
drop. Is the Falcon her ship now?
Unclear.
Well, I mean, shouldn't it be Leia's ship?
Shouldn't it be Chewie's ship?
I mean, obviously, definitely. I went and I forgot Chewie again. Chewie always gets the raw end of the deal, man.
We also don't know what Han and Leia, we don't know if they're legally divorced, if they're just separated, what if they, So, if Han had a will?
If
he
anything.
Definitely didn't have a will.
No, he's not a will kind of guy.
No.
Maybe Lando should get the Falcon.
Well, he does. Spoilers.
That's a good point.
Right, but yeah.
But
Lando just flew off with it at the end. Like, wait a minute, where'd Lando go?
It's like, what is he doing with it?
Yeah. Like, technically, I still have a pink slip. It's I think it should belong. In theory, I think the one with the most legal claim to it is Kylo Ren.
Well, wait. What about Uncle Pluck back on? He doesn't have any claim on it.
He stole.
Well, he didn't steal it.
He stole it. He stole it from Duquesne, who stole it from the Irving boys.
So then, shouldn't the Irving boys be the ones who whoever the last legal owner was?
Is Han Solo? Well, is Lando? No, it's whoever Lando stole it from.
So.
We're going back generations.
I bet it's going to be Shmi Skywalker. Palpatine definitely built the Falcon.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
He did. No, he put it, he inceptioned someone to make the Falcon.
Right.
You see.
That's the way he works.
He cloned a shipbuilder.
So does Kylo Ren recognize the dice?
He has to, right?
Yeah. I bet.
I mean, he didn't turn bad until he was a teenager, so he's hung out with his dad. I think his dad's been around.
I don't think his dad ever let him in the cockpit.
You don't?
He didn't earn it. He's like, until you earn it,
I don't
do
think
not
that's
touch.
True. I think he's definitely been. I think he obviously did.
Yeah, I might go the other way. That Han Solo kept trying to get him to ride in the cockpit, and he's like, "Leave me alone. I want to go play chess.
I want to be like Uncle Luke."
Right.
That would have hurt.
Uncle Luke.
I'm gonna go play with the secret ball. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
That could be how it wound up on the Falcon after all these years. We didn't even bring that up.
He's got the blast visor down, running into walls.
Yeah. Just screaming and running into walls.
Cutting holes through the hull while they're flying through hyperspace.
And Han Solo's just like,
but this kind of like harkens back to what I was saying about how powerful Luke was. He holds those dice like they're real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he manifested something, and he's gone, by the way. His cape just flew off. He's got stuff laying around that he made in his brain. That's how powerful Luke Skywalker was.
Yeah, could he have just done the dice? Like, let's suppose he wanted R2-D2 to show up somewhere. Could he go and just project R2-D2 without him having to be there? I imagine it's a lot easier to do like a pair of dice.
I think he proved that he can do that.
But he was also he also force projected himself there. So could he just do the dice, or did his force projection also have to be in the? And how was it able to stick around after he died? I guess
that's a good point. I don't know.
I think there might be a little bit of like a delay, right? Although that would be funny if there was a delay like during the fight. You know, Kylo Ren is like, "Did you come back to save me?" Like,
yeah.
No. No. Sorry, what? No.
They're talking over each other.
Yeah.
Oh, you go for no, you go. Also, would have been funny if after the dice disappeared, like 3PO disappeared and the Millennium Falcon disappeared, and like all you're like, what? Kylo Ren disappeared. You're like, what the?
And like like the red crystals and the salt disappeared. It's just like a industrial warehouse zone somewhere.
They never left Tatooine. The whole thing been a force projection ever since.
And like Fixer and Cammy are there. They're like, Wormy, come on.
Oh man.
Ties in. Remember the only part of the novelization that I really read before I lost it somewhere in the attic up here was it starts out with Luke having kind of a dream about what his life would have been like if he had stayed on Tatooine and married Cammy.
Oh, interesting.
That's called the Cammy canon. That reality is So does that mean the dice are still in the Falcon, right?
Yeah,
the real ones.
Yeah,
the real ones gotta be there.
Or does Luke have them back on? Did Luke have them back in on?
Oh wait, he took them. Yeah, maybe he just took them.
He felt them when they were there. I don't remember if he pocketed them or not.
Yeah, so they could still be on the Falcon.
But theoretically, they're on that rock that he just disappeared from. Right? They were in his pocket.
That's if he pocketed them. If he didn't pocket them, if he just said, "Oh, that's a good idea. I should do that." Then they're still there.
I definitely don't remember seeing them in the next movie. So
is it like time travel where both dice could not be present in the same place? It would create a time paradox or something.
Right, the universe would explode.
Yeah. Or maybe when the Kylo Ren's dice disappeared, maybe the real ones reappeared in the Falcon. I don't know. Who knows?
I just remember seeing that and going, "Oh, what a burn!" And then I kept, like I think several people we were just hoping that the entire next movie was just Luke torturing Kylo from beyond the grave, like wherever he went, he'd just show up, like,
He did kind of hint at that, and then he just never did anything with it.
Yeah,
that's the classic. That's the classic, Jedi thing. The Obi-Wan. Oh, I'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. I'll become a voice who can sit on a log.
But he never really he never did what he could. He didn't exploit it, Imagine what a nightmare that would have been for somebody like Kylo Ren to literally have the ghosts of your past just telling you what you've done wrong all the time.
Yeah. It'd be like a backwards Sixth Sense. Where he's a ghost the whole time. But then it turned out he was actually alive the whole time.
Oh, look at that.
I should have known when those other people were interacting with him. That should have been the tip-off that he wasn't a ghost. Everyone's all celebrating back on the Falcon.
Well, yeah,
Happy days.
Hang on, we go from...
oh, wait, yeah, I got something else too.
We go from the Kylo looking around, and we get a barn doors wipe. We get this is we I don't think we've been tracking the wipes because I don't think there's been many, but we get the barn doors wipe, which is the kind of
that's like the blast doors wipe.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess the blast doors are sideways. Or
yeah, there's a little diagonal to the blast doors, but it's a good
garage door wipe.
It's a it's the wipes are the Star Wars has a lot of wipes, so it's a little bit of the language of Star Wars here as we get to the Falcon leaving a planet, which is another kind of Star Wars trope.
Oh, so actually, before we leave the planet, we see Hux. Hux is also in the office for some reason. You have any feelings on Hux, Mike?
I liked Hux as a bad guy, and I thought that Is it Dommel? Is that how you say it? Dommel?
I think it's Donal. People have been correcting us all season, and we haven't taken it to heart. So
I just watched a YouTube video where he explains how to pronounce his name.
Irish names are the worst, man.
And he says it's like tonal, but with a D. So it's Donal.
Tonald.
Anyway, I think he does great with that character, and you can just see on his face he's like, oh, I'm stuck in this still. I can't believe I'm still here with this guy.
Well, you can see in his face that he's like, I should betray the First Order to the Resistance. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So that's where he gets the idea.
This is my life now.
We're both Hux fans from this movie.
Yeah.
So yes, the Falcon then takes off.
Right. And we get a lot of people hanging out, kind of relieved that they're all there's three interactions that I want to focus on here.
Okay.
One happens kind of closer to the end, which is the most obvious one, which is the most obvious and yet shocking in that we are like, wait, that didn't happen already? And that's when Poe meets Rey.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, I remember that being like a little bit of a chuckle because it's like, well, you don't really realize that they haven't crossed paths. Realize. They haven't crossed paths. They haven't had any need to, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting to have, like in the middle of at the end of the second, at the end of the middle of the trilogy, you have two of your main characters meet for the first time.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing.
I almost would rather that they did not meet here, that they just kept it going as long and save it for the very end of Rise of Skywalker.
Well,
the post-credits scene of Rise of Skywalker should be Poe and Rey introducing each other for the first time.
Well, one of the interesting things about these last three movies is that the main characters weren't like integral. They weren't like so linked together like the first three movies were.
There's no gang.
Yeah, and you have three definite viewpoints of this like universe, which I don't think they exploited as well as they should have. But I thought that would have been really cool.
I personally, I would have preferred if this movie had more of what did not follow immediately after Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because I feel like having the characters farther along would be more interesting than watching them gradually get to know each other. Like if they had already had a relationship, like that could have been interesting. Do Rey and Poe, do Pei and Ro, do Pei and Ro joke around a different way than with Finn? I don't know, just be interesting to see different relationships being formed rather than.
I mean, that's what they did in the original ones, right? I mean, it was like several months or years in between.
Not to start my defense now, but that we get that at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker. We get there. They've had a little bit of back and forth, and they have a little.
We're not here to debate the pros and cons of Rise of Skywalker.
Just saying.
So let's.
Well, the next interaction that I wanted to focus on is actually the first one that we see, which is the kind of really warm
somebody's face.
The warm kind of reunion. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. The warm reunion of Poe Dameron and Kai Threnali, where
that's really weird.
He gives him a hug and he says Kai, and he seems so excited to see him. He actually says Kai. I hadn't heard that before until we just watched it now.
He grabs his face.
Yeah, he gives him like a face hug.
Yeah,
that's a lot of face too.
And Poe is clearly a very loose guy at the end. He's very he's Poe Dameron, man.
Yeah, I nobody has ever been that excited to see Kai Threnali. I don't know how they're. I guess they had a little bit of interaction earlier in the little briefing. Kai's the guy that Poe said like that's Holdo. Like remember that was all the way back then. So I guess they were buds. They knew each other.
And also, a lot of pilots died in the movie, so maybe he's especially glad that at least one of his...
Absolutely. These are like the last 25 people in the rebellion.
It's like, hey, somebody I know.
That would have been great if it had been like the opposite. If like, imagine if like, all your coworkers and like only 10 were left and like two, that jerk survived.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there is because we didn't.
This is going to be really uncomfortable now that I just spent a lot more time with this person. So.
Well, that in turn leads us to the third interaction that I wanted to focus on, which I love, which is if you carefully watch Cato Coconics shutting down another resistance guy who's clearly going for a hug. He's just like, "Hey, we made it," and she's like, "All right, whoa, like, yeah, like, good job." Like, gives him like a pat on the arm or something like that. She was like, "Okay, cool, like, yeah, we're safe."
Oh my god, that's funny.
We almost died.
Yeah, and he's just totally like I think he sees Poe and it's like kind of at the same time. I think he sees Poe and Kai, and he's like, "Yeah,
like,
things are great, right?" And goes for a hug.
We're hugging now.
And she's like, no. Oh, that's great, isn't it? Gives him like a little, like totally interrupts him with body language, and it's great.
I hope that was something that was worked out by Billy Lord.
I think it might just be something that happened live on set.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it looks like it was totally okay, we're not like, you know.
The guy had a crush on her the whole time, and he's like, "I'm going to make my move. I'm going to do it. It's the last day of filming. This is our last day.
Yeah,
I got to do it."
And then excuse me, my name is in the credits. You can't touch me."
Oh, poor
Somebody's
guy.
got to ask her, right?
I feel like a lot of the dialogue there, like they just told the actors, like, just make up some dialogue, and like everyone does a very bad job of it. It's just a lot of like, oh, she's like, "You look good" to BB-8. You know, when Rey's like talking to BB-8, it seems like no one really knows quite what to say.
He got his antenna fixed, right? Or replaced.
Yeah.
I know these scenes are kind of like a trope in Star Wars, you know, big, like a celebration after, but it does feel like a Christmas party versus what it is, a bunch of people that almost died.
Yeah.
You know, these guys just experienced a mass trauma. They should just all have like 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, this should be like the end of Saving Private Ryan, where everyone's just kind of like shell-shocked and, you know.
We just watched hundreds of people die.
Yeah. Oh, Admiral Holt. Oh, Admiral Holdo, right.
But yeah, it's like the end of Jedi or something. You think there's no celebrating here.
Yeah.
You gotta be positive. Focus on the positive.
Yeah, that's what Leia would say.
I think there's also like a chemical leak in the Falcon that's causing everyone to be kind of be a bit giddy.
Remember that thing that they knocked the hose that they were going to spray to scare off what they thought was the First Order when it was really Han Solo? That's still happening.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Everyone's getting all these headaches whenever they spend time.
It's been going on for months.
I do. So C-3PO seems to be saying to R2, "Such a friend."
Yeah,
I thought was very nice. That's what I mean about weird. It seems like no one quite knows what to say.
Is he talking to? Is he talking about R2 to R2? Is he like, "Oh, you're such a friend," or was he talking about? It looks almost like it's a reaction to Poe and Kai.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh,
so he's establishing that they're just friends. Like, don't get any ideas, you crazy shippers out there. Like, they're just friends.
We call that pie, that relationship.
But I do like that all the sequels, all the numbered sequels, do end with R2 and 3PO together, which is, of course, the you know, a nice little nod perhaps to the original idea that 3PO and R2 would be the only people who'd be in all the original films. But so even though they don't really do anything in this movie, poor R2 really gets the shaft. C-3PO at least gets to shine in Rise of Skywalker, but R2, you know, I guess his biggest moment was showing that holo projection of Leia earlier in the film. That was probably his biggest thing.
I don't know, odd that it's like, well, wait, that's not like, that's one of the characters that you don't have to worry about them getting old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
let's phase out the robots.
Yeah. Why aren't you leaning more heavily on these eternal characters here? Like the ones, you know, inside the masks and costumes.
Yeah. It's funny that in this movie and the last movie, R2's job was basically to be a film projector. He's basically a thumb drive that people put stuff on that they want to show other people. So sad.
Yeah.
So she says you look good to BB-8. It made me wonder if BB-8 is insecure about his appearance. Is this something he's like?
I took it as more, you know, he was like a little kid almost, and like, you know, anytime my kids are out and then they come back, they're like, look, we went to the store and we got this, and so that's, you know, BB-8 is like, look, I got a new antenna. She was like, yeah, it looks good.
So he is taking pride in his new antenna.
Yeah, I think so.
Got it.
Or just really, he just thinks that, you know, he's. That's what conversation is to him. He's just like, oh, let me tell you what is going on. You know, I don't know. I'm not, he's not too firm with the nuances of conversation. He's just kind of like, here's the thing that happened.
I think it's more that Rey is uncomfortable around him because after their adventures on Jakku, and including all the toys and marketing and stuff, BB-8 and Rey were frequently paired up. Like, we barely see Poe. Poe and BB-8 do stuff together in the middle, but for the most part, she is Rey's droid in Force Awakens. And now it's kind of like, oh, I got to go back to Poe now. So sorry, baby. Our summer thing is kind of like, so it's just, she's like, oh, like they don't know what to say to each other now.
It's like Grease. It's like the beginning of Grease.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like the beginning of Grease. I don't like Sandy.
That is pretty much all I had for 142. We get more. We said barn doors wipe.
I had 2 more items.
Okay.
We see the sacred Jedi texts.
Oh, is that in this minute? Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, because Finn is getting out the
blanket
from the thing. And question: how many characters have we seen receiving medical treatment on the Millennium Falcon? Assuming a blanket on someone is
right. Well, it does seem a little weird that they're just like, yeah, she crashed the car. We're just going to lay her down on the couch while we have a party.
That's true. In the room with her.
Like 3, right?
Yeah. Well, there's this one.
Right.
I think it's 3 also. This one. Luke getting his hand cut off, and Chewie getting shot in the Force Awakens. So there you go. They should have
Orlando's
a
robot.
Oh yeah, that can count.
In Solo.
L33.
Does she get laid down in that little couch area?
Yeah.
Or do they just take her hard drive out?
They do that after.
And then they just put it in.
Yeah.
They drag her whole body in and then do it.
Right.
I don't think they don't drag her whole body in there, do they?
Do they just take? That's what I thought. They would just kind of take like the personality chip.
Yeah, they take the person. Yeah.
So
they just set her in the chair.
She's a robot
right in the cockpit, like lever buckled in the.
You tell Lando she's just a robot.
That's true. He's like, no, bring her on the ship.
Take her to my quarters.
Yeah, so then we see Rose recuperating. Rose playing the role of Finn,
right?
In this, ending the movie in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, her post-coma life would not be nearly as adventurous as Finn's was. So
maybe she had some damage. Maybe her faculties aren't really all there, which is why she doesn't come along on the next mission.
You think they totally should have Captain Piked her in the Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, maybe I wasn't thinking that. No, I was just like, well, maybe that's not. I don't know. Well, combination of the two. Either she was like gun shy. She was like, that was ridiculous to go on a mission. I'm just a technician. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, why would I come along with you to go like, do whatever? Find a Sith dagger? That sounds ridiculous. Like, or
this doesn't make any sense.
Is it that she really did? She's still in like concussion protocol, essentially. That she's not really. She shouldn't be out there doing stuff. She's not really.
Or she was like you said. She was just so traumatized by it.
Right.
She can't get in a ship without feeling like. Finn had to feel pretty bad about that. That she did that for him, and then was just kind of like,
kind of wrecked her career.
So she gets. My last question is: Do Rapos exist?
They got to. There's something for everything, isn't there?
Yeah,
but I don't. I mean,
since they haven't met until this movie, it seems unlikely, or it seems like less. It'd be more of a niche thing, even among niche things.
I think it's way down there in the list of
all the different permutations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Storm Pilot, the Finn and Poe, those are way higher up than the Rey.
Oh yeah,
sure. So, yeah.
But what about like Rey and Hux?
Rux? Or hey.
Hey. That's what they should do, is just come up with the best names and then retrofit them. So
I feel like there's got to be one for everyone.
Yeah. I feel like Chewie would probably have some good combinations.
He's got all of them, I bet.
Like Chewie Hux would be like Chucks.
Chucks. Oh.
Or Huey.
Big Huey fan.
Let us know your shipping names at StarWarsMinute.com.
Well, if you want to let us know those, best place to do that is probably on Twitter. We are at Star Wars Minute on Twitter. We're at the Star Wars Minute on Instagram. And if you want to just tweet us with some of your favorite shipping names, make some up. Like,
Now you can't think of it.
No, because like the first one that I came up with, like I'm like, let me go like obscure. I'm like, what about Greedo and General Grievous? I was like, Grievous. I was like, oh, damn. All right. Fine. Come up with some fun shipping names and tweet them at us, and we will meet you back here tomorrow for a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.